Hello everybody, it's your friendly neighborhood Godzilla fan, JurassicZilla here, back at it again with another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Skull Island Netflix show. In this show, we got so many new monsters, but we also got a brand new Titan. Just saying, spoilers for the Skull Island show if you haven't watched it yet. But I'm JurassicZilla, and let's get right into this video, shall we? Just your friendly neighborhood Godzilla fan. Yet again, spoilers for the Netflix show if you haven't watched it already. It's only 8 episodes, 25 minutes each. It won't take that long to watch it. You know, you can skim through it. You can just watch the last episode, whatever you want to do. I don't care. Just at least watch some of it, because in this video, I'm not going to talk about the whole entire show. Just mainly the monsters or any main points of the monsters that I found interesting. So just go watch it if you haven't. If you have already watched it, then let's get started. So I didn't write a script for this video or anything, so I'm just kind of going off the top of my head for this. But first, what would I rate it? I'd probably rate it a 7.5, right in between a 7 and an 8. And for me, a 7.5 is good, but it could be an 8. And what makes it not an 8 is because I just think it could have been a little better, and I'll get into more detail with that. So the reason I didn't give it an 8 is because I kind of felt like it could have been a little bit more connected. There was some really cool moments where there's this guy who was on one of the helicopters at the end of Skull Island when those helicopters came and saved the main characters, and Kong did his, his roar, when in his eyes. Obviously, you have Kong returning, you have the Skullcrawler returning, and you have the Iwi tribe returning. But besides that, those are really the only human characters and monsters that we see return in this show. I didn't see any leaf wings or anything, or the skier buffaloes, or however you pronounce their names. At least I didn't see it the first time I watched the show. I don't know, maybe they were in the background, I didn't see anything, but we didn't see a lot of returning monsters, but we did see a lot of new monsters. Sadly, the new monsters that we saw don't really have names yet. There's this giant crocodile, there's this cat flower thingy that I really liked. I really liked that guy. He's probably my favorite monster in the show. We saw a new type of turtle. We saw this bug that had like a crystal inside to lure monsters in. It was crazy. We had this dodo-looking bird guy. We had these little crabs that act like trapdoor spiders where they'll hide, and then when they sense the vibration, they'll come up and eat their prey. They're really cool. We had this tiger guy named Dog. And another thing is that I'm really glad we got to see the giant ants that were mentioned in Kong Skull Island. Also, you got this giant red bird that looks like Rodan that's friends with Kong. There's just so many crazy monsters, but sadly, as of right now, we don't really have any names for any of them. Besides the lion thing that's named Dog, and the new Titan that I'm going to talk about soon. And that's the thing. This show feels like one of those shows where if you don't watch it, you're not really missing out on a lot. Because remember, this show takes place before Godzilla vs. Kong, so we kind of already know the aftermath. The storm takes over Skull Island, Kong gets trapped in the containment. And there's just a lot of things in this show that need to be explained, like what happened to Kong's friendly neighborhood Redbird that he always carries on his shoulder? Why didn't we see him in Godzilla vs. Kong? Did it die? And that giant temple that Kong was just chilling in that we didn't see in Kong Skull Island. And I really hope they make a season 2, because there's a lot of stuff they gotta explain. And also, that's another thing. At the end of season 1, on the last episode, the girl character got knocked out. She hit a rock or something. And then when she woke up, she was in the hospital, but in some city off of Skull Island. So then it makes me wonder, and they did say 2 weeks went by, so does that mean some people came and just got the characters and took them off Skull Island? Did they leave someone behind? Because now that they're off Skull Island, what would a season 2 be about? Why would they have to go back on the island? But I'm thinking if they do a season 2, they'll do a thing where they left someone on the island. Maybe like Charlie, the main character. Maybe they left him on the island since those other Amy or whoever those other people were seem to have trapped him. So, like, I don't even know what a season 2 would be about. But I feel like they kind of have to make a season 2 because there's a lot more that they can explain, and it can make the whole thing better if they just explain what happened to that bird or something like that. And it may sound like I'm hating on the show, but I'm not. I really like this show. It's really fun. It has some really good characters, some really good Kong moments. Oh my gosh, that moment where the squid guy, who I'm going to talk about later, killed the whole entire Iwi tribe and Kong was just sad. Like, that moment was so good. Easily one of my favorite moments out of Kong in the whole entire Monsterverse. Yeah, one of my favorite moments from Kong is from a show. So I will say a very good job on showing Kong's emotion in this show. He did like little eyebrow raises, you know, you could tell where he's worried or he's sad or if he's joking around. It's so good, and I really hope to see more of that stuff in Godzilla x Kong and just in future movies. And I really could make a whole hour-long video just talking about the show because there's so much to talk about. And that's one of the things I really like. There's so many little details, so many things in the background. I'm like, oh, did you notice that? There's so many cool stuff in the show. It is so colorful. And I get it. It's a 2D animation. And all of the Monsterverse so far has been live action. So it can be a little bit hard, you know, making a 2D animated show connected with a live action movie, you know. There's a lot you gotta translate and do all of that stuff. But I appreciate them for making this show because it's really fun and I'm glad there's a lot of little tiny stuff that just adds on to the movies, you know? It's great. But now let me talk about this new Titan that Kong fought at the end of the series, which is the Kraken. That's right, we got the Kraken in the Monsterverse. And let me just say, his fight with Kong was so awesome. Because this isn't live action. We don't have to worry about it being nighttime to hide the CGI, or it has to be raining and you can't see anything, or there's water splashing around all over the place and you can't see. Nope. Clear as day fight. It was awesome. And the humans didn't even do anything to help, which is good because in all the other fights, you always had the humans doing something to help, and it's like, oh, the humans always gotta help. You know how it goes. This time, it was just Kong. Kong did all of this. And the Kraken was such a surprise to see because I honestly thought this was just going to be a giant squid like the Meyer squid from Kong Skull Island. I thought it was just going to be a whole bunch of tentacles wrapping around Kong and then Kong just rips them up and it's defeated. But no, when he rose out the water and showed his squid-like face with that beak and the giant crab claws, it was such a huge surprise. It was crazy. And I don't know if it's a he or a she, but I'm just going to call it a he for now. But this dude was tough. Kong ripped off his tentacles. He was fine. It dragged Kong all the way down in the ocean. Kong got his ship and it hit him in the face over and over again. He was fine. Rose back out. Kong beat him, punch against the rocks over and over again. He was fine. And then Kong actually had to rip him in half to kill him. This dude was strong. And in terms of design, this dude's a 10 out of 10 for me for a Kraken design. Now I get it, it's a 2D animation, you know, and live action, there'll be much more detail and it'll probably look a bit more scarier, but for what we got, he's awesome. I love the design. And yet again, dude, I'm telling you, with this Monsterverse, in 2014, Godzilla shot the atomic breath down the throat and the head came off, and then in Kong Skull Island, ripped the tongue out. Godzilla King of the Monsters, Godzilla blew off Ghidorah's head, Godzilla vs. Kong ripped off Mechagodzilla's head. Dude, and now in this, we got a whole Titan being ripped in half. Like, these Monsterverse Titan deaths are so good, and I cannot wait to see what they're gonna do in Godzilla x Kong. But also, sadly, we'll never see the Kraken again because it's dead, so don't be like, oh, in Godzilla x Kong, are we gonna see the Kraken? No, we're not. Unless we're gonna see a Mecha Kraken. Nope, it's not gonna be a Mecha Kraken. We're not going down that path, guys. No Mecha Kraken, please. But yeah, that's really gonna be it for today's video. There's a lot to talk about, and there's a lot of stuff that I probably forgot that happened in this show, but Easily my favorite part of this show was just seeing Kong's different emotions. Like, all the emotions that Kong made were awesome. Seeing him sad, seeing him happy, seeing him mad, seeing him confused, seeing him worried. Like, every emotion you can think of, you see Kong do in this show. And I really hope we see more of that from Kong. It's something you don't really get a lot from of Godzilla, so seeing it from Kong is really awesome. Makes him definitely feel more like a human. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Always remember to have a great Godzilla day. Also, if you want, you can check out my second channel, posting some really cool fan-made trailers on there. I got some merch, the link is in the description. And, yeah, 7.5 out of 10 for this Skull Island show. So happy that Legendary made this, and I can't wait for the Apple Plus TV series show and Godzilla X Kong. Also, that new Toho Godzilla movie coming out November 3rd. When are we getting a trailer for that? Pretty sure it's like in the next, couple weeks, so stay tuned for that. I'll definitely talk about that. But yeah, that's the end. Just, yeah.